Page confirming we are now live on YouTube and Twitch. So we are going to jump right in here tonight, folks. We have a very different stream than usual. I am very fortunate to be joined by MantaDeray. You want to say howdy, Manta?
Hey, how you doing? What's going on?
I am having just kind of a wild build-in day. Things have been kind of hectic around here, but I found a glitch that lets me place blocks faster. I realize you probably can't see. Are you watching my stream?
I am.
Okay, so all of the birch in this pinball machine was put in the last 24 hours.
Okay.
I found a glitch that lets me place about 640 blocks. That's 10 stacks of blocks in like 77 seconds. And I'm terrified it'll stop working before I get all this birch in. So I've just normally throughout the day, I'm like at the end of the day, if I get all my other work done, I can play Minecraft and that'll be fun. But today, if it's like, okay, I've got a call with somebody at 2:30, and they're like, we need to move it to 3:30. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna jump in here, one more hour of putting blocks down, just like cramming it in everywhere I can, to try and get all this birch placed. But we're not really here to talk about birch placement. I'm gonna be doing a lot of birch placement. But we are here to talk about your upcoming charity event. Let me throw up a special guest, MantaDeray, title card here. And what is the name of your event that you're going to be talking about?
It's actually not just my event. I'm
Okay.
just kind of participating in it.
Sure.
It is a charity event benefiting the Games and Online Harassment Hotline.
Mm-hmm.
It is being hosted by Anita Sarkeesian and her crew there. But my particular segment is going to be taking place on August 11th. And it's going to be pretty laid back, pretty chill. Try to, do my normal thing that I do, but also raising funds for charity. Honestly, I'm a little bit nervous about it.
Well, that's why we're here to talk about it, to make sure that you feel like you've got the confidence to make your segment great. You've shown up and helped me twice with Raw for Charity, which is a 48-hour stream that I can't claim all the credit for either. I'm pretty sure I missed some words in the name of the thing. It's the Games and Harassment Hotline? The Games and something?
Games and Online Harassment Hotline.
Okay.
Games Hotline for short.
Games and Online Harassment. Okay. And we're kind of coming into this with me knowing almost nothing. So that way, you can kind of practice your pitch and talk me through it. And I can help make sure that, you've got it in a place that you're comfortable with, right?
Okay, yeah, sure.
But like, before we get too much into the nuts and bolts of what any particular approach might be, what are you most worried about? What are you most concerned that you might get wrong or might want to discuss?
I think the biggest thing I'm worried about is my own ability to ask people for money, if that makes sense. I know it's not for me, but it just feels so unnatural for me to do that.
Sure. Okay. Could you give me an example of, like, in your day-to-day life, something that you do regularly ask people for?
That's a that's a great question, actually. I guess just in general, I'm pretty hesitant to ask people for things. Unless
Sure.
it's something very simple.
Sure. So, like, if, you're at a work event and somebody is using a stapler, could you say, hey, I could really use that stapler. It would help me staple this?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, this is the same thing. You're saying, hey, can you hand me that cash, or actually hand it to this charity so that they can staple something, or do better than staple, heal.
Right. Yeah. That's a better perspective, I guess, to look at it with.
Yeah. So, like, let's talk about what the benefits or beneficiaries of the event are. The game's an online harassment hotline. Tell me about what they are, what they do. Help me see where that money is going, right?
Okay. So the hotline itself, short version, it is a support hotline that you can text in. They're active and replying every day between 3 and 7 p.m. Pacific.
Mm-hmm.
And they will listen to you. They'll provide advice and just talk.
Is their primary audience like young adults, youth under the age of 18? Do they have like restrictions on like who they're focused on helping?
As far as I'm aware, they do not. It's anybody who's experiencing any online harassment, whether that's in a game or if that's just, through socials, people just harassing you or stalking or any such type of, you know how the space is on the internet and how very toxic it can be. And sometimes you just need somebody to talk to, somebody to help you process the stress of all of that. So.
Okay. So there's two angles here.
Mm-hmm.
One, they seem to be doing legitimately good work, and I've just, based on what you've already told me, I've Googled it and found gameshotline.org. Is that them?
Yes.
Okay. So, there's one angle of nobody likes to be bothered. And sometimes when you're bothered in a way that you don't know how to deal with, it can help to have someone to talk to who is a trained professional. That can be a real helpful resource for some young people. And that's why I'm going to bother you right now. Get your wallets out. Here's the donate link, right? There's kind of a hard line 1-2 punch angle there, right? Yeah. Now, you're kind of a more soft-spoken guy. So
unfortunately.
So maybe that's not your angle. But I'm providing you with options here, right?
Sure.
And painting, we're not even painting a picture. We're basically, you know how people would do like test canvases where they try different paints with different brushes type of thing, right? We're throwing out ideas. How soon is your event?
It is on the 11th. That is Thursday of the week after next.
Okay. And are you going to be streaming from your channel, or are you going to be streaming from their channel, or both?
I'm going to be streaming from the channel of my workplace.
Okay.
It's going to be through them.
So we're 2 weeks out roughly is what I'm hearing.
About, yeah.
Do you have on your calendar a date that you plan to post a tweet that says, save the date, I will be streaming for Games Hotline, with their Twitter handle on this date at this time at this URL?
I haven't gotten that a specific date to do so yet. No.
Well, here's the thing: is if you don't have a strategy for that, because I wasn't going to tell you your strategy was bad if you had a strategy for that. If you're like,
no strategy is bad. Yeah.
Well, I'm specifically planning on doing it after this date because they're going to be retweeting a blah blah blah. If there's no coordination or anything there, the best time to do that is literally right now while we're talking, so we can promote that tweet to the audience that we have right now.
That's a fair point.
Does that make sense?
Up until yesterday, I was still not certain of the exact date and time.
Well, and that's fair. That's fair. And like honestly, with Draw for Charity, there's a lot of last minute stuff that we do every year. Like, I was on the hook for like Sunday 8 a.m. community event. And a community event is anything that the moderation staff are welcome to jump in on, is how we define that, right? Because some of our events, we have like, people from HermitCraft and and we don't necessarily say, hey, every single person, please jump in on this game with Zombie Cleo and MantaDeray, because that would be potentially, we want to have folks who expect like a certain level of production quality to only be playing with people who have like production level mics. You know what I mean?
Right.
But then we have certain community events where it's open to anybody who helps us run the event. It's like, hey, if you want to come play Quake with Joe Hills, Sunday morning at 8 a.m., but we didn't tweet that in advance because we didn't know that I was going to pick Quake for that game until like the Friday the event started at 5. I was on the phone with Pasta at 3, and he's like, Joe, what do you want to do for the community event? And I'm like, I still kind of want to stream pinball from my dining room, but I don't think any of the mods want to drive out here. So, we could do VR golf, but I don't think any of the mods have VR headsets. So, I don't know, maybe Quake or Battle Royale. I don't know. And, we just hashed that out last minute, So,
Right.
Sometimes it's stuff you can't pre-announce it if you don't know. You don't know what time your thing is. That's cool. But now that you do, feel free to, if you want to run that tweet by me and workshop it with me, this is like part of why I'm here as you're writing it.
Sure. Now I do know they, the games hotline group does plan on doing some sort of tweet promotion, such and such. I'm not certain exactly when. Actually, I can go look at that right now.
What you got to keep in mind though is, like, for example, with Draw for Charity, if Penny Arcade says, hey, since you're helping Child's Play, we're going to retweet your thing, that's awesome for helping what we're doing to be seen by the folks who are already familiar with Child's Play and Penny Arcade. But part of the reason that we have people like you and I being guests on these things is to pull in our own audience, right? And even people who, there might be some people who like didn't catch up with you after Mixer fell, right?
Oh, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So you get on Twitter and you post that, and then me and some other people from the Mixer days start retweeting it. People are like, oh man, Manta's back. When did that happen? Oh, and he's doing a thing on August 11th benefiting the Games Hotline. Cool, right? Games Hotline tweeting that doesn't help in the same way as you tweeting it, and me and your other like old Mixer pals or people, who have known you. Like, I really think one of the most important things with any sort of fundraising effort is legitimacy and trust, right? So, I think we've hung out at least one PAX South, but I think it was 2 different ones, right?
Definitely at least 2.
Yeah, so like I've known you for like 5 or 6 years. I've met you personally multiple times. I've done stuff on stream with you. You've come and helped me out with Draw for Charity. Like, I feel like it's important for people to see, like, okay, this isn't just some random guy with some random organization. These are people like who we've known for years or whatever. Like, people who remember your Suma Be Void song from the HermitCraft Civil War might get excited about this. Oh, people are complaining that my face camera isn't on. Sorry, I was recording a segment with Cub right before we got started. And then, yeah, okay, so yeah, camera is back on. So yeah, for those of you just joining us, we've got MantaDeray calling in today to talk about an upcoming charity event. He's helped me as a guest at 2 charity events, or 2 years of the same charity event in a row, the Draw for Charity event that we do every July. And so I'm trying to help him by answering questions he has about helping get excited and plan for his upcoming event.
Yeah. And I'm here to run ideas by Joe and Joe to run ideas by me and to figure out what the heck I'm doing. Now, I do have an idea. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
Later,
how are you on writing that tweet? Because if you need me to kill some time, some of you guys might have noticed that there was no theme music at the beginning of this episode or this stream. That's 2 reasons. 1, we've got a guest, and so it's kind of awkward. And 2, because I wanted to show off this new mod that Isuma and Tango got on the server. Whoops. So I just take this. Unfortunately, you won't be able to hear this, Manta, but
that's all right.
So there you go. I can now load MP3 files onto discs in game. And so that is a previously unreleased xylophone demo of the theme song. And this is actually a jukebox in the game. If I fly away, it'll kind of fade out. If I fly back, should still be playing. Pretty cool. We might be using that for maybe capturing some pinball sounds for our pinball machine. We can also put those sounds on goat horns. So I think maybe I need to capture some pinball audio for the goat horns in game. But I haven't had too much of a chance to mess with that yet. I was just doing a test of that with the... Because the thing is, when we upgrade mods like that on the server, we have to all update our client versions of the mods too at the same time. Otherwise, it breaks. So, yeah, that was part of what we were doing there, was making sure that my voice chat mod still worked. But okay. Yeah, so do you have that draft tweet?
Almost.
That's okay.
I'm cleaning up some stuff here.
That's okay.
It's gonna be kind of rough, honestly.
That's fine. Like that's I'm here to help, you know. And is there a time limit on the sound file? No, but just to be polite, goat horn sounds are usually about 6 minutes. Not 6 minutes, 6 seconds or less. So I'm not going to put any song or any... I could theoretically have loaded that entire MP3 onto a goat horn, but that felt like it would be rude. Like, I'm trying to embrace the media and use records for longer stuff and goat horns. Did I see the clip of Tango getting rickrolled with that technique? No, but that sounds hilarious. So let's see. We are maybe one too high here. Yeah, that's where that starts.
How do you feel? Sorry.
Oh, go on.
How do you feel about links in tweets?
So
I always steer away from it because I've heard it kills it algorithmically.
Well, algorithmically, yes. But do you have your Twitch in your Twitter bio?
I have mine, and actually, do I still have mine in my? Yes, I have it in mine. However, it's not going to be on mine.
So here's what I usually do: is I put the actual like event link and stuff in a second tweet that's a reply to the first one. So the first one can take off algorithmically. Anybody who clicks on it can then find the info for in the second tweet with the URL of the stream or whatever. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, yeah. But that is a good question, because I spend way too much time thinking about everything like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I always flip-flop on it too. It's like, I should include the link here because I don't want to add a second tweet, and then sometimes I'll be like, no, I want to make sure, algorithm, etc. It's a weird, delicate dance.
Yeah. Well, and part of it too has to do with like if you're doing a save the date tweet, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to, like, it's not like they're going to go check out the channel today and find your stream,
exactly.
Right? I'm getting pretty good at placing birch blocks after doing a lot of placing birch blocks. I say as I misplace birch blocks now. Probably turn hostile mob sounds back on at some point. Yeah, hostile creatures, because yeah, there's just spiders all over the place here. Oh well. What do my stats say for birch planks placed? Honestly, I don't know. But I thought that I had used all of my birch. Stephanie says, saw your progress of the birch blocks in Asuma's episode today. So impressive. Really? Oh, was Asuma talking about the pinball machine? Because it seems like last week he was talking about my, dang it, I always forget there's a thing here. Last week he was talking about my, mangroves. So when people were like, oh yeah, Asuma mentioned you in his episode, I was like, oh, probably the mangrove thing from last week. Wait, was there a new thing? Oh, he bragged on Suma did a recap of my episode, my 3-minute epic episode. He talked about the my super interest. And I said, "Oh, that's fun." Cool. So anyway, we have a lot of progress here. Check out his episode when you're cleaning up tonight. He picked you for the quest. That's really cool. I'll have to... Yeah, I didn't realize that. I've been, like, just heads down on a bunch of freelance stuff today. And any gaps... Like, I occasionally had times where they were like, hey, we need you for a call at this time. And then they get back to me and be like, actually, we need you 30 minutes later. I'd be like, okay, 30 minutes to play some birch as fast as I can. Go, 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 go. Like, because I'm terrified that this is going to get patched out somehow. Or that this is going to somehow be considered, like, yeah. Like, this is my one chance to place a lot of blocks very quickly. And I've been dreading placing all of these blocks. And now that I found a way to do it this fast, I'm like, I gotta just gotta go. No time to think. Whoops. Okay, this is my first time trying this. Manta, anything you need from me while you're writing? Or should I just keep bothering you at random times?
I'm sorry. Whenever I'm writing, I get so, like, stuck in my head and rethinking everything as I'm typing it, and it just kind of becomes a mess of word salad. I'm currently parsing it to make it somewhat legible, and then I'll shoot it your way.
Okay. Because, yeah, I was going to say, you know, sometimes it helps me to, like, read stuff like that out loud while I'm writing it, but obviously everybody has a different style, you know, so.
Yeah, I think I'm just nervous to talk in front of people for some reason. I don't know, man.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
I'm here.
Like, you've been in front of people plenty, though. You know?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Sometimes it happens.
No, that's fair.
Maybe it's been too long. I haven't really been doing this much.
Well, and that's the thing, too. You know, that's part of the benefit of getting out here. And, like, this is kind of a rehearsal in some way, you know? Because you're practicing talking about the charity, about the work they're doing. You're getting your head, you know, kind of aligned with the needs of it, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. Whoops. NJ says, so when is Manta's event? Well, that's what's going in the tweet. That's why it's so important that we have the tweet written so that I can link it every time people ask anything like that. But yeah, in the meantime, y'all, I am getting a ton of blocks placed here. I have never placed so many blocks in one 24-hour period. I feel like I haven't had the chance to play enough Minecraft today, which I feel that every day. But then I look at how many blocks I've placed, and I'm like, this is the single most productive 24 hours of Minecraft I've ever had. It really is something. Okay. So let's go ahead and put some of the nonsense that we don't immediately need in here. And then we're going to reclaim that. Then we'll take the rest of this back out, too. Honestly, even if it's irrational to fear they're going to patch it out, the fact that it's getting me to do it this quickly, like, it really feels like I'm upping my game. Like, dang it. Yeah, I'm used to, like, I know, like, exactly what to look at when I'm working with the birch, but the blackstone's a little bit different visually. It takes me a second to get the groove there.
All right. I have but it feels like not a lot for how long I took to work on it.
That's okay.
So, I guess I can just read it out loud. It says, so excited to be hosting a charity stream benefiting the Games Hotline, August 11th at 12 p.m. Eastern at Whitethorn Games Twitch channel. Tune in for developer Q&A, chill tunes, and some giveaways.
Awesome. Yeah, that seems great.
Let's say, like, more info.
Well, I was gonna say post that, and then we'll talk about the second tweet.
Okay.
After that, but I don't want, like, you're in a good place with the first tweet. You need to get out of your head. Just post that one, and then I can share it with my chat, and then they can mark their calendars, and then we can.
All right.
Because I have some follow-up questions about, like, things that would be good to put in the second tweet, but I don't want you overthinking if that goes in the first one. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right. Dang it! There's creepers down here. Okay, let me get a sword out or something.
All right. I have tweeted. I always feel nervous right before sending a tweet. I don't know why. Well, I do know why, but. You know what? Oh no, I'll retweet it tomorrow off of that account. I was like, I can definitely promote this tweet from the official account, the company account, but probably do that in the morning.
Yeah, well, the thing is, people who are watching company accounts are usually watching them during the day, whereas like we're trying to hit the audience that like remembers you streaming it every night.
The Gremlin 2 a.m. chat that. Yeah.
Okay, has that gone out? Okay, cool. I'm gonna retweet it real quick, and I'm also going to grab the URL for that, and I'm gonna post that for other people to find.
Well, thanks.
Okay, awesome. And before we move on, I do have a a tip coming in from my stream. Thank you to When Pigs Fry. That's like cook, not like take airplanes, which is a very clever name. Don't send me money to send Manta for his charity stream. There's a bunch of tax liability. No, nobody send me money. Don't use this on the Advocates, gives this to Manta. No, that there is like a whole set of forms to actually properly do that. I have to declare this as revenue and pay taxes on it unless I do a bunch of extra work that I'm not gonna do.
Hey, so I'm suddenly having second thoughts about this tweet because I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say this yet.
Which part of this are you not supposed to say?
The fact that it's happening? I don't know if I haven't technically gotten explicit permission to do so.
Okay, well then maybe take that down.
Yeah.
Okay, see, I was assuming that when you said they gave me the date and everything that like...
Well, yeah, I had the date with what we had confirmed. I don't think they have said anything public about it yet.
Well...
So maybe...
Okay.
Sorry. I probably should have double-checked that.
So, yeah. But anyway, wait. So two things. Yeah, never send me money to give someone else. Okay. Figs Fry says keep it. Cool. Yeah. I really have to do everything I can to discourage people. Don't send me money that's not for me, because I have to pay taxes on it either way. Because I'm not going to spend all the time to properly do a pass-through thing. Okay. So when Pigs Fry just said just keep it, then we are gonna put it on the abacus. Thank you. That is gonna get us 1.5 face camera expansions. Well, really just one, and then halfway to the next one. So here we go. Expand juice. And we're gonna lower the opacity. Okay, so what we need to do. So if you don't know if you're allowed to post the tweet,
I will email them.
You need to send them an email saying, I'm really excited about this, and was ready to tweet it out when I realized maybe I should double check with y'all that this is that we're 100% confirmed for publicizing the event, right? Yeah. So are you writing that email now?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. This is part of preparing for a charity event. We're doing great. And the thing is, just like own it immediately, because like they're gonna have gotten an alert that like this tweet that disappeared went up. So their team saw it, even if it was only briefly. And so you going, hey, I realized I might have screwed up. Are we actually okay to post this? Is that's you owning the mistake. They're gonna be fine with it. Nobody's gonna be mad at you over that. Like, if you just left it up and then went to bed and then they started panicking because they're like, no, we need to move your time slot. That's a different thing. But, yeah, you caught it. Okay. So the short version is keep an eye on MantaDeray's Twitter account or my Twitter account, because I will retweet it whenever you actually do have your final announcement go live.
Yeah. Possibly tomorrow.
Possibly as soon as they get into the office tomorrow.
Yeah. Possibly the 2nd. It seems like that'll probably be when they're running their announcements of everything.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, this is part of why I asked if you already had a social media calendar about when announcements were going out and stuff.
See, I did not.
But they might. Yeah. Okay. I should have. I'm learning how to ask questions better.
No, that's mostly on me.
Okay. Hey, Kindleist, thank you for tipping 44. That first 10, that's going to get you one expansion milestone. 20 hits the next one, and then 14 toward the one after that. So let's go ahead and do 2 of these real quick, and then we'll go ahead and read that note. So here we go. Oh, I've got too many layers. What layer is this? Oh my gosh. Okay. There it is. There's the right layer. Expand. Lowering the opacity now to 70%. And numero dos. Expand just. Oh no, the wrong layer. D. And we are now at Tony Stark Helmet Cam. Boom. Now that I have your full attention, Kindleist has tipped to attract attention to Deep Space Nine petitions tomorrow. And because it has been a very long week, that's right, tomorrow at 1 p.m. I will be streaming petitions from the experimental server, immediately followed by my Deep Slate 9 vanilla SMP server. So if y'all enjoy the petitions things where I basically play King David and people complain about stuff or ask for things, that is something we are doing again for July tomorrow at 1 p.m. U.S. Central Time. So come on out for that. I think this needs to be a little bit bigger on the camera. There we go. Tony Stark Helmet Cam. It's as big as it can be. Everybody's tipped up to this point. Has been making the camera more obnoxious, filling more of the screen. Now that we're filling the whole screen, though, each additional face camera expansion will still keep making the camera more transparent by lowering the opacity. So, anybody who tips beyond this point is only making things easier to see through. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. And we are 6 away from the next face camera expansion. Also, Queen Dark Lady, thank you for rolling in and bringing some folks by. Okay. So, next thing.
Yeah.
Next thing.
So-
Okay. So, when I asked earlier, kind of like, what's the biggest thing you're worried about? The reason I asked that was because I wanted to make sure that, like, even if we get nothing else accomplished tonight, whatever your biggest concerns are addressed. And then hopefully that gives you the confidence to then go deal with whatever the lesser concerns are. So, the first thing you mentioned was that you're nervous about asking for money. We already talked about one technique where you're like, hey, people being bothered or harassed isn't cool. Sometimes people need someone to talk to. Yeah. I'm going to bother and harass you right now until you give this charity money. That's maybe not a good angle for you. My friend Pasta, yeah. He's very aggressive, and that sort of thing would be right up his alley. But we got to craft the MantaDeray solution to this problem.
I do think something adjacent to that could work.
Like, still funny, but not, like, mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, one thing that helps with raising money for charity is if you have a specific target you're trying to hit. Every time someone donates. Sorry, I'm going to be using these words unfortunately interchangeably, even though they're not interchangeable, because I spend a lot of time thinking about every day I come on here and I do fund my business by soliciting tips, right?
Right.
And ideally when I'm doing a really good show, everybody should be having so much fun. I don't need to ask for tips. But ironically, sometimes the days that I'm having the most fun, I forget to ask for tips and nobody remembers to actually tip. And then later on, like at the end of the show, they're like, oh yeah, that was great. By the way, here's some money. But like, there's a direct link. If you don't go out of your way to ask, people will not remember. Like, being prompted, it might seem like you're being rude or whatever, but like, it's how you get results. And for a charity thing, those results matter. Like, all of the setup for this event costs time and money, and in some ways you're wasting that preparation time and all the time of the people involved if you aren't comfortable asking for money. Now, you don't want to end one sentence asking for money and follow it up immediately with, here's another paragraph about money. But what I find is helpful is try to chain it. Every time money comes in, say, oh, we just got, if being able to read the donations live is huge for this. And hopefully you have a way to do that. So you read the donation live and you say, and that puts us only X amount away from our next goal, right? Make sure to check out the charity at this website. Donate link is here. We are so close to that next goal, people. Let's go. That sort of thing, right? And so that's kind of a natural segue. And then you jump right back into whatever game you're playing or music or whatever, right? You don't linger on it. You just keep reintroducing it, because once you know you can do it quickly and without derailing everything, you stop worrying that you're derailing everything, right? You're just like, this is just part of the flow of the event. Money comes in, we thank the person who donates, we point folks back to the charity, and we get right back to the entertainment. Because the entertainment is why people are showing up for the event, right? They're giving money because the charity is good, but they're showing up at the thing where you're asking for the money because the entertainment is good. Like, when I was doing Draw 4 this weekend, remember that Quake event that I mentioned on Sunday morning, the one for the moderators? Yeah. So that was not supposed to be a big dollar part of the stream. That was us filling one of the time slots that's not very busy with me hanging out with the mod staff, so they, have an opportunity if they want to be on camera and, that sort of thing, right? It's kind of like killing two birds with one stone there. But that was not one of the headline events, like having the Hermits on to play Among Us, which was an event you were there for. That was one of our headline events, and I really appreciate you showing up for that.
It was great. I had a great time. So I'm glad I could help.
Yeah, you did. And so, like, when in the middle of the Quake event, somebody just, like, we were like something like $2,300 away from the event goal, right, for the whole weekend. And that was fine because we had some headline events later in the day on Sunday. I wasn't stressed out that we weren't hitting we're not really making much money in this Quake segment. That's okay. That's okay. It's a 48-hour stream. Not every segment can be a winner, And somebody rolls in and is like, here's $2,560. And it blows past our target by like $200, right? And some of the other people on microphone are like, oh my gosh, we need to just stop for a minute and freak out about this. And I'm like, no, we need to keep playing Quake while we freak out about this, because that's essential to the format dictates that we play video games for 48 hours. We don't stop playing video games just because we hit our goal. We keep playing the video games, right?
Yeah. Of course.
Hey, Jill Jackson, thank you for the 5, who says, what kind of charity kills birds with stones? I actually don't have a clever answer to that, but that is a great one to workshop later. So we'll come back around when we don't have a guest. Yeah, so it's kind of one of those things where, like, as kind of the entertainment lead on your segment, right? You're the guy who's got the mic. Are you going to be playing your ukulele or your guitar or anything?
Yeah. So I guess we can talk about what I have planned for it.
Sure.
About the first 30 minutes is mostly just going to be me hanging out, talking about things, what I plan to do for the stream.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's going to be about a 30-minute segment talking with one of the people from the Games Hotline, talking about the charity, what all it's about, how they help, such and such, and then what people can do for their part. And then after that, transition into some Apico. It is a beekeeping simulator game, and I'm going to be talking / playing that game multiplayer with the developer, or one of the developers. During that segment, we'll just be playing, talking about the game, talking about the charity. Then after that block, I will be doing some music. And yeah.
Okay, so each of those blocks is going to have a very different kind of way that you handle soliciting donations, right? So when you're playing a game with the developer of a game, you're trying to balance being respectful of their time and them coming out, and so, like, you'll notice, like, during the Among Us game, I was trying, like, we were trying to acknowledge the tips as they came in, but we're also trying to argue about who to throw out an airlock, right?
Yeah.
And so, for the benefit of the stream, I usually tried to read those when it would help me not get thrown out an airlock. Which might not have been obvious to y'all, but that's just because I'm great at Among Us. But anyone watching at home was probably cackling about that. So,
as soon as Joe gets accused, oh, thanks for the donation.
Oh, it's like I killed 3 people, and I'm like, and like somebody's like, wait, how are there 3 bodies? And I'm like, I don't know, but there's 4 donations. Let's go ahead and read those.
Y'all deliberate about who did it. I'm gonna be
y'all talk about who did it. I'm gonna turn you down real quick so I can thank all these people. It's not suspicious at all. So yeah, with your music thing, you don't interrupt the middle of a song, right?
Right.
And so you just know, hey, between each song, you say, oh, that was this song. Oh, hey, we got a donation or 2. Or if we don't, you just say, quick reminder, we're doing this benefiting Games Hotline. The link is in the description. We're this close to our goal. Anyway, next song is whatever.
I think for the song section, the music segment, I'm going to have just like a general playlist of things I will play when there's nothing going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll probably have like this X amount donation, request a song kind of thing.
So So you can mention that we've got 3 requests in the queue right now. If you want your request in the queue, go ahead and donate at least X amount, right? Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So that's a very natural, fluid way.
And then it could very easily just be like, thanks again for the X amount donation. Hope you enjoyed your song, kind of thing. And plus, if you want to, it'd be really easy to work that in there.
Oh yeah. I don't think you're gonna have any problem with that. What I found is with stuff like, where you have the game developer or something, I haven't played that game, so I don't know if it has natural rounds or a good place to check on stuff like that. But if not, just every 15 minutes, and you can explicitly say to people, you're like, oh, hey, we're on the quarter hour. I just want to remind folks that we're raising money for Games Hotline. Just the way a radio station would do a quick
Yeah,
thing.
just kind of do it on a timer anytime there's a downtime. That one, it plays very similar to like the old forestry mod. Actually, it was kind of the inspiration for that game.
Oh, so it's a full game. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a full game, but inspired by the old forestry mod. I could get into a lot of what it is, but it's it's just maintaining and cultivating an apiary and crossbreeding a bunch of different kinds of bees to save them.
That's cool. Yeah, and so one thing I found too is when you're working with other people like that who aren't often on camera. I don't know how often this developer's on camera. What you keep in your back pocket is you tell them up front, hey, I know you're not on camera a lot, but don't stress out about it because this is a charity event, and part of the goal of that is to ask people for money. Anytime you start going like, oh man, I can't remember this, or let me look this up real quick, or if you need a second, I can just jump in and say, while you sort that out, don't worry, it's a great time to remind people about the Games Hotline, right? And so when you're working with other people who aren't on camera very often, they're going to naturally just create pauses by nature of them being nervous, right? And once they see that that's okay, they'll usually, have fewer, and that'll be less of a concern. But like, you'll be able to kind of discern where those breaks are going to be as you go.
Yeah, I will say, I have one other time talked to him while playing the game. I was just playing it on my own, and he was just very heavy-handedly walking me through the tutorial because had no idea what I was doing. He's very well spoken for someone who is not often public facing.
Oh well, that's great. That's great.
So,
you can't always count on that though.
Yeah.
What am I hitting? Oh, there's a light there.
For that segment, I'm not entirely certain how exactly to go about mentioning or incentivizing people donating. I do know we plan to do some like key giveaways and such, which having the milestones will help, but I don't know, would it be weird to be like, hey, if you have I guess
not everything needs an incentive, right? So like for example, during the D&D game I played in for Draw for Charity, we were in a Groundhog Day like loop, and we were trying to figure out basically every so often the world would get destroyed, but by a different means. There was just like apocalypse after apocalypse, but they're all different ones. But everything else and everything would reset, and we'd wake up in the inn, and we'd be trying to solve this mystery. And we figured out pretty quick every time that the charity reached a $100 milestone, that was what was triggering the dungeon master to reset the world.
Okay.
And so that got people incentivized pretty heavily to like go, oh yeah, let's they're making a lot of progress here, we better blow up the world again, right? But in other segments, like in Among Us, we didn't have any sort of incentive. I mean, I did say like, yeah, if we get a $7,000 donation all at once, I'll shave my beard, which didn't happen. But like, other than that, like, people were giving because they understood what the charity was. We stated it repeatedly when we had the opportunity. They trusted us, and they knew it was a good cause, right? So having a mix of segments that have direct rewards like that, and other segments where it's just like, we're here hanging out, that's, I think, good for the viewers from a fatigue standpoint, because you also don't want people being like, well, I don't know what incentives I'll get. I don't want to miss out on an incentive in the upcoming round, right?
Yeah.
Like, not every round has to have incentives.
That's true.
So, but, like, I think it does still help, though, to have an overarching goal, right? So,
oh, yeah, for sure.
You know, you saying, hey, we're only $700 away from our goal for the... how long is How long is your entire stream? Because it sounds like you've got several segments here.
I currently planned about 5 hours.
Okay, and are
So
you the
not
primary
super
person
lengthy.
on mic the whole time?
What was that?
Are you the primary master of ceremonies the whole time?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, 5 hours is doable.
Yeah, it's gonna be about 30 minutes of just me talking, 30 minutes of talking with one of the members of the hotline, and then 2 hours of game, 2 hours of music.
Okay.
So every time I've played music and set an amount of time, it always ran long. So we'll see. But
yeah. Okay, and that's hopefully because you're getting people who are like, oh yeah, I want to request a song. Here's some money.
yeah, always.
Okay, well that's fantastic.
Yeah,
so
always
you know,
hit time and I'm like, oh, forgot to close the queue, and then it just kind of
Yeah, and you know that part works, right? So
yeah,
that's good. Okay. Somebody says that the camera is out of focus. I don't think that should happen. I think maybe I'm not being lit properly. It might be, but the camera's focus should be fixed. Let me double check that. Wait, no, we had a lightning storm. Oh, dang it, y'all. Hold on, I gotta reset all of my camera values every time the computer gets shut off.
Oh no.
Yep. Okay, you were right. Because in theory, the camera should never change focus because my face is always about the same distance away from it. This probably looks terrible now, but whatever. Okay, the focus is way better. You can see every individual hair in my mustache, just like you want. That's what people come here for. I did not brush my mustache before I got started, and now it's terrible. That's fine. If people want perfection, they'd watch a Zombie Cleo stream. Don't tell her I said that. Okay. No, well, the focus shouldn't drift in and out of focus because I set it on manual. But the problem is it doesn't remember any of my settings every time the computer shuts off. And we had a few lightning storms, and it's been one thing after another here. Okay. Yeah, so it sounds like you've got a pretty sound schedule for what you're hoping to fit into those 5 hours. It sounds like you have good ways to incentivize people to give. Having somebody from the charity was one of the things I was going to recommend. You're already way ahead of me on that.
And I figured doing that earlier would help set like the stage for the rest of the stream.
Yeah, because there might be questions that come up during, and make sure that you encourage the chat not only to donate during that time, but also any questions they have. One of the things I found when I was working with charities that were big deals but weren't necessarily gaming related is people had a lot of questions of how can I tell that the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society is real? That sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, okay. They were featured in a Time magazine article in 1983. You can go to your local library, go to the May issue of Time magazine from the third week of May, and find a whole thing about what they were working on then. It's still the same people, and you can verify that by going here. You don't necessarily need that level of. I got asked that so many times. I started getting hyper. I was like, what's the most obnoxious way you could prove this is real that's actually still doable? Right? Because I'm an obnoxious person. So like knowing how long the charity, like before they get started, you should know you're gonna be asked how long the charity has been around and helping people. Because this is the sort of thing that people just want to know. Like, is this real? Is this a fly by night thing?
So yeah, just have a quick like FAQ.
Yeah, so usually you want to link to their about page, right? Mm-hmm. So okay, if you go to Games Online or gameshotline.org/about, okay. And usually they'll have like a thing where they mention like
it started in 2019.
Yeah, like if they were like featured somewhere, like in terms of like news or something like that, have a few links like that ready. Like, oh, hey, this is the time that they were on Oprah, or whatever. Like maybe I don't know if Oprah is still a thing in that way, but like, you know, it's like, okay, if they were interviewed by somebody recognizable in the gaming community or something, right?
Yeah.
And in general, usually their website would also have like the information that somebody who wanted to do their own research would need to like go check them out on Charity Navigator or things like that. I try to avoid sending people directly to things like Charity Navigator, because people who want to do their own research aren't going to trust me to not fake a URL. Like, so I would rather just let them find it. But okay. So we have now knocked out this entire back wall here, except for that stripe, which I'm leaving for right now, so I can fly in and out. This cabinet is coming along pretty well. Their website links to them being reported on in the Los Angeles Times, Hollywood Reporter, and Kotaku. So there you go. So yeah, in general, pointing people to their website and being generally encouraging, like, it's always good to look into charities that you're interested in supporting. Just to make sure the money's going somewhere to the right place, and also because you might learn that there's opportunities to help in other ways in your community. So everybody should check out their website. Put a positive spin on it. Yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah, plus if you'd like to see some of the work they've already done, you can,
Yeah. And so if you use bot commands, now you're going to be streaming on somebody else's channel, so you might have to set that up in advance on their channel.
Yeah.
With so you have the donate link, you have the about page,
timer going off, and then commands,
you have something that's like, what kind of an impact are they making? Here's a link to the LA Times article, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And just have those cycle through every so often. Another thing that you might want to do is you might want to coordinate raids. So if you know that you're going to be live for these 5 hours, reach out to people like me and say, hey, Joe, I've got a charity event going on between this time and this time on this day. Is it possible that if you end a stream during that time, you'd be comfortable raiding me? Yeah. That sort of thing. Because, like I said, you know a bunch of people in the Mixer community from back in the day, and I don't know where all of them ended up, but,
a good handful.
Yeah.
Made the way over to Twitch.
Yeah, and so, asking them, saying, like, just so you know, for the event, I won't be on my normal channel, I'll be on this channel. Also, like, and I would wait to send this, though, until you had your tweet approved, and then also say something along the lines of, if you don't mind, or if you're comfortable with also retweeting this save the date tweet to help let people know or help get the word out, I'd appreciate it,
Yeah.
Like, I mean, some people are just going to straight up tell you no, but that's okay. Like,
yeah, that's fine.
It's better to ask, and that's the sort of thing, like, I get requests like that, and I usually say yes unless I can't independently verify the charity, basically, or if I don't know I need to know the person well enough to vouch for them personally, and I need to know the charity is taking the money directly, right?
Yeah.
So if it's anything like super sketchy looking, like even if it's not actually done, even if it's not necessarily anything wrong, like I'm probably, because I really value the support that the people here give to the charities that I do events for. I don't feel comfortable sending them to anything that I can't prove on my own is good, right?
Yeah.
That's just kind of a threshold for me. But it seems like these guys have their ducks in a row, so you shouldn't have problems with that on this case. But yeah, you might.
I've already looked into it. Obviously, I wouldn't have been like, yeah, sure, I'll do that if I didn't think it was a valuable, legitimate resource.
Yeah. Well, and do you? like I said, you might get asked about how they're handling the money. Is it going directly to the charity through Tiltify? Is it being taken by your employer and then they're going to file a tax pass-through form? How is that going?
I haven't set up the page yet, but it's going to go through Tiltify.
Okay. And then, but the claimants on the funds would be the charity directly?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Then you should be fine there. But yeah, that's just the sort of thing, like, you know, be ready to answer.
Yeah. Yeah, and all funds go all the funds through the charity. It's nonprofit. It goes directly to maintaining the hotline and yeah.
Okay, great. Cool. I think we've covered a lot of the basics, but I've really only asked you if you had any questions once, or if you had a particular outline of stuff that you wanted to go through. We only got to item 1 of the Manta outline. So, from your end, what else would you like to talk more about?
I guess I really asked all of the things that were like burning questions. Are there any like best practices that you would suggest? We've kind of already gone over all the
the money handling thing is a huge best practice thing, because you never want to touch any money like that yourself. It's a huge liability. So there's the best practices about tweeting and social media and having a plan for that, coordinating with other people for raids and for cross promotion stuff. There's possibly some dress rehearsal stuff with doing tech checks and stuff in advance. You know, making sure that you actually have the stream key to the right channel for when you're supposed to go live and stuff like that.
I've definitely streamed to the wrong channel before.
Yeah. And so if you're doing an event with a lot of different streamers, you have to practice handoffs and key management stuff. But it sounds like it's just you for the entire 5 hours, or is it your thing is 5 hours of somebody else's longer event?
Well, it is, as far as I've been told, it is a larger event that's going to be taking place throughout all of August. I don't know the timings of anyone else who is participating. So it's possible someone else might land on the same day, and if that's the case, I would probably reach out to them to raid one direction or the other.
Well, that's sound, but that's different from saying, like, for Draw for Charity, we all would have the same stream key for the same channel, right?
Right, yeah.
And we would have to time, okay, everybody, you might have to hit refresh in about 5 seconds, because I'm going to click stop 1 second before this person clicks start, right?
Right.
Now, usually Twitch is pretty good about auto-resuming when you do that, but not 100% of the time, right?
Yeah.
So...
yeah, there's nothing of that sort. It's just going to be the one stream for 5 hours to the one channel.
Okay. Mahi0 points out in the Discord chat that you should definitely make sure that you set a reminder to host the stream from your own channel as well, so that your viewers see it.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree. That's the sort of thing that I've forgotten to do sometimes, because I'm like so worried about making sure things go right on the big charity stream channel. So yeah, that is a good one. And if you have any of your co-workers, does Mystic Kitty work with you? Will she be assisting with this event?
Tangentially.
Okay.
I don't know if she'll be doing the usual moderating of chat and stuff. I'm sure she'll be present.
Yeah. So like having her manage your channel though, even if she's not involved with the event management, right? Making sure that your channel is hosting the event. Let's say that you have a stream hiccup and the event channel goes offline for a minute. That might kill the host, right? So having it be her job to make sure, or somebody else that you trust, having it be their job to make sure the host resumes. Because you're going to be so busy dealing with the stream hiccup, you're not going to think about it, right?
Yeah.
Also, possibly pre-scheduling or pre-drafting, maybe not pre-scheduling, but drafting tweets in advance for each segment.
so
So
I can just fire them off without.
yeah. So then when you're like, okay, we're gonna be playing this apiary beekeeping game with the developer, blah blah blah. You just copy and paste that from your text file into Twitter during that segment break. In between the two. Do you have anybody who's going to be like helping you on mic between segments if you need to run and grab a drink or use the restroom or anything?
Not currently.
Okay.
I've usually never really worried about that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Though I guess for this particular case, I wouldn't want any, interruptions, delays, etc.
No, you don't necessarily need it. I wasn't sure if because this is partially under the auspices of your employer, if they were having one of your coworkers be a co-pilot on this or anything, right?
Since I am the most streamer experienced, all the handling of this was handed to me, and I was like, yeah, sure, I can figure this out. I know how to do this stuff.
Oh, I'm absolutely sure you can. I was just thinking if you were having somebody like that and you weren't used to it, we could run through some pitfalls, opportunities, that sort of thing there. But
I don't think that's in the plan at the moment, but
okay.
If you think that's something
I don't think it's something you need if it's not something that I was more worried that if you were having that dumped on you and you weren't used to it, that'd be something to go over, but
I think it's fine.
Okay, cool.
That is a good point, though.
Yeah. Just trying to be thorough. Quick reminder, we are $1 away from the next face camera expansion. We have been stuck on Tony Stark Helmet Cam for a long time. Y'all must be really listening to this and really not looking at the stream, but that's okay. This is more of an auditory experience. Elijah says, do you know if hosting a stream helps if the person hosting has 0 followers? I don't believe so. I don't think there's an algorithmic benefit to that.
It helps the streamer feel good.
But, you might not want... A lot of streamers have it set so they don't get host alerts if somebody doesn't have any viewers.
That's true.
So... I would assume that actually in most cases they would literally never know. Chloe the Great and Powerful tips 1. That's going to put us evenly at our next face camera expansion. So here we go. It's time to expand. Jost. Gonna set me up as T. Joe Eckhilsberg here, lowering the Joe passing now to 50%. Okay. Cool. And that puts us 20 even away from the next face camera expansion. Tips welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. Is there anything else that's going to be different from your usual setup besides streaming to a different channel? Are you going to be streaming from your workplace instead of your home or anything that would be a potential issue?
Oh, I was thinking about... Initially, the plan was to stream from the workplace. We have a recording/streaming setup there.
Mm-hmm.
However, I haven't done music from there before, and I'm not sure if my setup would translate, so I might probably stream from home, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, because I was going to say that's one of the most important things to test in advance if you can. 1 year for Draw for Charity, they ended up scheduling it the same year as this convention I always go to, and I was like, that's fine. The hotel has decent internet, decent enough I should be able to stream from it. But the particular room I was in did not have Wi-Fi coverage.
Dang.
And luckily, I knew the organizers of the convention, and I was like, guys, I'm kind of in a bind here. Do you have access to, a conference room or something that I could stream out of that would have, internet, right?
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, we'll hook you up. And they did. But when I got there, the air conditioning for the whole building was routed through there somehow, and it sounded like I was next to a jet engine, and whenever the air conditioning kicked in, which was only about 50% of the time. So sometimes it was fine, and sometimes it sounded like I was next to a jet engine. But Discord has really good voice what do you call it, cleanup stuff, right?
It does.
Which causes a lot of problems if you're doing music, but if you're not doing
Yes.
music, it's fine. For some reason, my head seems like it's tilted at a weird angle. I don't know what's going on with the camera. It's not rotated. I think I'm just tired. I'm just slowly falling out of frame. That's fine. But yeah, but the problem we were having was that my voice would be way louder on the parts with the air conditioning because I would feel like no one could hear me over it. Because I'd go from like talking normally to being like, okay, so we have a lot of great choices here. Let's talk about them, right? And everyone's like, Joe, why are you randomly shouting? I'm like, it's not random. It's in reaction to a predictable stimulus. But yeah. So that was like definitely one of those things where I was like, even if I'm pretty sure I can pull it off, and I mean, we found ways to make it work. If you can test the place first, you know, it's better to, you know. Yeah. So if you were thinking about doing it at your office, going in there the week before with everything and just proving that it works or doesn't, you know, is going to be the way to do it. But yeah, especially
I have streamed from there before, just not music. So yeah, I would probably go see if I can't plug things in and get a good sound out of it.
Yeah. It seems to me like the only real reason to do it out of the office would be if other people were going to be joining you, like, quote-unquote, in studio, and you didn't necessarily want to have people traipsing through your home while you're streaming, right? I get that.
Yeah. I don't think anyone will be joining me in person.
Yeah.
So it might honestly be better to do so from home so that I don't have to worry about anyone walking in or nearby.
Yeah. Okay.
My cats, but
that's fine. People like cats. Nobody's gonna complain about cats on a stream.
Donos for cats, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll do fine. Get a cat cam. Oh, there was at one point during the Dungeons and Dragons game, there was kind of a lull in the donations, and the dungeon master put a bunch of pictures of cats up, and was like, every minute or every 5 minutes that we don't get a donation, one of these cat pictures is coming down.
Oh no. That's a very good threat.
Yeah, like that's the thing though, is like the Draw for Charity brand is it's much more aggressive because like one of the two co-founders, my friend Pasta, is being aggressive is very on brand with him, you know. But you got to find ways to make your thing work for you, you know.
Yeah. I think I can make it work.
Yeah, it sounds like you got a pretty good plan already. Nothing I'm too worried about poking holes in. And believe me, I am a very nitpicky person, especially when I'm tired.
I'm the kind of person that no matter how well something goes, I'm always just like, dang, I messed up. Oh, I could have done this, you know?
Yeah, no, I do some of that too. But usually that's like post-game type thing. Right?
Yeah.
You don't need to worry about the post-game anxiety until after the stream.
That's true. Well, oddly enough, I guess when it comes to streaming, it's like 99% pre-game anxiety, and then as soon as the stream has started, like the first person says hi, it's like, all right, cool, yeah. I've done this before. I know exactly what I'm doing.
Well,
it's weird.
Yeah, I completely am right there with you because like with Draw for Charity, leading into the event every year, I'm always like, okay, what are all the things that can go wrong? What are all the fallback plans? Whatever. But I do all that so that the second we're live, I go, I know that no matter how stupid this goes sideways, I have a fallback plan. Like at one point, the internet where I was at that hotel started cutting out, and during my Minecraft segment. And so I had already sent Badger Spanner the credentials to my camera account on HermitCraft. And I, at that point, then also sent her the stream key for the event. And I was like, hey, the internet's cutting out and stuttering pretty bad. Like, it hadn't, like, completely died, but, like, I was like, The internet's good enough that I can definitely play the game, but sending video like this is not going to fly. I need you to coordinate with me. I'm going to kill my stream. You start your stream. So I'm in a hotel in Alabama while somebody on my Minecraft camera account is streaming to the 48-hour charity stream from London, right? But, like, we're live. We're going to make it happen. We'll, like, once we're live, anything can go, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's a different kind of stress, I think. I don't know.
Honestly, as soon as the first thing goes wrong, that's when everything gets more comfortable. Because you've seen, oh, well, that happened, and everything is still okay, so...
Yeah, it was fine. Whoops. That is not what I wanted to do. Oh, sorry, I gotta report a bot real quick. Okay, done. YouTube has way too many bot issues.
That kind of used to be the case on Twitch. I haven't seen too many lately, but...
Yeah, it was always the case on basically any platform, as far back as I remember. With Twitch, having it set to, like, follower-only chat with a time limit has helped a lot.
I love that existing for all of those reasons, but running a company account, it's really annoying. Because if somebody's like, hey, we're playing game from company, and I'm like, cool, let me pop in on company account and say hi, and then it's like, well, can't talk for 24 hours, never mind. Yeah,
well, I mean, I don't know, it's one of those things, like, it is worse for new members of the community, but for me personally, like, being able to run the stream myself without having to pay a moderator all the time, it saves me $20 an hour, and I stream a lot of hours, so...
the benefits definitely outweigh the negatives, for sure.
Yeah.
Positives outweigh the negatives? How are we supposed to...
Yeah, I get it.
Well,
so the person... oh, go on.
I was saying, I guess I'm way more confident in my current plan and have some tips on how to improve it or be prepared for things.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like your current plan was bad. But, like, this is, I get the impression, the first thing like this that you've run yourself, right?
Yeah.
So,
generally, the other handful of charity events that I participated in were, like, we were doing a St. Jude thing for a bunch of the musicians on Mixer, and we were all, like, passing it off. Like, we all signed up for X amount of hour slots and rated on to the next person whenever. So it was kind of more just like a backseat, jump in, jump out, kind of pass the torch scenario. This one I'm doing a lot more of the planning part.
Yeah, and that's I will say that's one of the things that's been nice about Draw 4 in the last year. I've kind of taken more of a, okay, I'll handle the on-screen stuff, and, like, I'll help. I pitch in a lot during the event, but, like, I'm not as involved with, like, all of the lead-up planning. But, you know, with a bigger group, it's easier to offload that.
Yeah.
But, like, that's one of the reasons I don't really run any of my own charity streams. I mostly help other people with theirs, you know, is because it is a lot of pressure and a lot of work. And that doesn't necessarily mean you're... I guess what I'm saying is acknowledging that it's a lot of pressure and a lot of work doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with your plan or anything wrong with you, right? That's just part of it, you know, that is evident, you know?
Yeah. Even this one's not super involved because I'm still planning just a single stream as opposed to coordinating an entire, you know, number of streamers to this giant event. But yeah, it's very doable.
Yeah, it sounds like you got a good handle on it. Out of curiosity, you said you'd already streamed once with the person who made the beekeeping game, so that's good that you got a pre-established relationship there. The person that you're talking to from Games Hotline, is that somebody that you will have already done, like, a test call with beforehand to, like, check audio levels and stuff and get familiar with them?
I have not yet, but yeah, I would probably do so, yes.
Yeah, you might want to say like, hey, if you'll be in the same place as you will be the day of the event, the day before, I'd love if we could schedule a test call with the same equipment just to make sure I can get your audio levels and everything right. If you're
Yeah.
not going to be set up like that in advance, then maybe, an hour before the event, or if is there an opportunity to do this? It's not something like if we have to just go live and make it work on the fly, we can do that. But like, just letting them get comfortable talking to you making sure you got the audio stuff sorted. Because I've had a thing where I had like 4 game developers on and the audio levels weren't right. And it was like, oh my God, we streamed for like 45 minutes and nobody could hear us. And,
Oh no.
and like, it was so embarrassing. And like, I don't know. I still get upset when I think about it.
Dude, sometimes even if you've already done all the pre-checking and everything, something somehow still goes wrong and just the audio is incorrect. I don't know.
Well, and that's why I was also asking if either Mystic Kitty or one of your coworkers was going to be involved day of, just to kind of give you a, thumbs up in Twitch chat, like at the beginning of each segment, like, okay, audio's good, because like you're going to be changing stuff between segments when you go from playing a game and talking on Discord to playing music and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So that can help.
Oh yeah, wait. I'm definitely gonna do it from home because my setup has more monitors.
Well, there you go.
And it's much easier to manage things with more space.
Oh, definitely.
Plus I'm comfortable here, I guess. But yeah. Actually it was just earlier today that it was confirmed that I would be having someone from Games Hotline.
Mm-hmm.
So probably gonna talk to them.
Yeah, and you might
setting
want to
up-
read their bio and know what their role is and stuff like that, in advance. Because that
All the
was
prep.
one thing is that like usually at Draw 4, if I'm going to be on mic with anybody, I've already got all that. There was one time I hopped on with somebody, I was like, what do you do? I'm sorry.
I mean,
like-
you could very easily phrase that as like, feel free to introduce yourself, tell the chat
Yeah.
what you do, kind of thing. Like,
Yeah. No, but it was one of those things
it's still
like
an awkward feeling to be like, ugh.
it was like we were like our mics were off to the audience temporarily, type of thing.
Oh, and you're just like, yeah, right before we go on.
And,
Like, hey.
and I'm like, hi, I think we might have done something together last year, did we? And the person's like, no, that was somebody else. And I'm like,
oh no.
that was someone else. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Well, as far as I'm concerned, I think that we've covered everything that I would want to like caution you about or be worried that a first time charity stream runner might run into. Did you have any other stuff that you've thought about that you'd like to address?
Honestly, no. But if I do think of anything, I know where to find you. So
That's true. But we got 11 days, or we got like 14 days now.
Yeah.
So
I think if some issue pops up, I would know
yeah.
and be comfortable with sending you a message and be like, hey, Joe, what about if this happens? Okay.
Yeah. And the answer will probably be, I don't know. Maybe hope it doesn't. Whatever it is, it must be pretty bad if you didn't think of it until now. Okay. So for people who want more information about the charity, you can find it at gameshotline.org. I'm going to post that. Manta's official announcement tweet is not going to go out until he gets confirmation from the charity about the date and time. And
Save the date,
yeah.
but unofficially so far.
Yeah, so save the date unofficially for the 11th of August. MantaDeray's Twitter is twitter.com/MantaDeray. I am thinking I'm going to throw a raid together here real quick because I'm going to be honest, I have not gotten a lot of sleep in the last week and my brain is melting. So let's see. Is Okay, well, actually, real quick, while I look at this, because I'm too tired to like, my eyes are like not focusing on the list of people that are live
Sure.
right now. Anything else you want to promote, Manta, while you're here, like your Twitch or anything?
Um, I mean, yeah, if you want to follow me on Twitch, I rarely stream nowadays, but I'm trying to slowly ramp back up. It's MantaDeray. You can find me literally,
Mayuki Live. Thank you
literally
for your
everywhere
follows.
under
I
that name,
appreciate
except for Xbox. Um, Still trying to get my name changed.
Oh no. Okay, I found who we're gonna follow.
Oh, nice.
Or not follow. Raid. We're gonna raid Mrs. Tango, who actually played Among Us with us.
Oh, hey.
On
Killed me plenty of times.
killed us lots during Draw for Charity. So we're gonna raid Mrs. Tango. Anyway, thank you so much again, Manta, for joining me. Everyone, keep
Thanks
an
for
eye
having
on
me.
Manta's Twitter and mine for more details about the event. Does Manta have a place for his music?
Oh, no.
It's just live on stream mostly.
I have not recorded anything because I'm combination perfectionist / procrastinator. So
Very
maybe
fair.
one day.
Alrighty. Well, thank you so much, Manta, for joining us. Best of luck with your event. Thank you, everybody else, for stopping by. Until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee, joined by MantaDeray. Any final words, Manta?
You're all awesome. Have a great night, morning, afternoon, whatever time it is for you, and I'll see you around.
And keep adventuring. Do. Raid now.